There is a fight going on to preserve wildlife around Lake Okeechobee.
The proposal could also impact the health of our water in South Florida. We're covering this story with the largest news team on the Treasure Coast. News Channel 5's Carolyn Schofield is joining us tonight to explain how this affects all of us. Carolyn?
Well, Jim and Kelly, the water that travels down from Central Florida ends up in Lake Okeechobee, and then it gets sent out to the St. Lucie River or travels onto the Everglades. If that water is polluted, it affects everything from agriculture to tourism. The federal government thinks their conservation proposal could help everyone in South Florida, but a lot of people aren't so sure. Rich Modes rides his airboat on his land south of St. Cloud. It's an area now being studied by the federal government as a possible wildlife refuge. Modes fears if he sells or gives the government access to his land, he'll never get back on it.
They come on and they say they're going to make all these pretty promises and they're going to fix things for us and make it better. They're going to set up conservation areas. But in the long run, they turn around, they close the doors and lock us out in the name of conservation.
That's not the case, according to the proposal laid out for more than 500 people tonight. The government would carve a wildlife refuge out of 150,000 acres of ranch land, somewhere in this area north of Lake Okeechobee. The feds would spend $700 million to buy 50,000 acres and secure easements on another 100,000 acres that would remain privately owned. The land would remain as it is now, an area popular for hunting, fishing, and boating. There will be no eminent domain.
A landowner does not want to engage in discussions about land acquisition or conservation easements. We don't have to talk to them and we can move on to somebody else. It's a willing seller program.
People are packing these meetings fearing the government won't do what it promises. But George Glenn believes if the government doesn't step in to conserve the land, someone else will have their eye on it.
I think now with the temperament up in Tallahassee, I think you're going to see a lot less protection for wildlife. I think they're going to do away with a lot of the growth management rules, and so it's going to really make these natural areas susceptible to development where they usually wouldn't have been.
And this was just one of the first meetings to talk about this proposal. There won't be any funding for this National Wildlife Refuge for at least 2 or 3 years, and there will be many more meetings in the meantime. Reporting live, Carolyn Schofield, WPTV News Channel 5.